Welcome to the UIA. I'm Matt Nuccio, and this is
Warren Tuttle, President of the UIA.
Today we're here to talk about
How patents benefit inventors.
So with the current state of patent reforms in the United States, it would appear that individual inventors are almost sort of like the colonists fighting, the British Empire. What can one do as an individual inventor to protect themselves?
It's a great question, and it's a great analogy too. And I'll extend the analogy. I oftentimes describe the inventor movement as we're the hobbits. We live on the Shire. We're farmers. We're not warriors per se. There's these people with big swords fighting over us. But here's the deal: we do have the ring because we are the purists, and we are what is right about innovation in this country. And if you leave us behind, then you've left a big part of innovation behind, and it's who we are as a country. So yes, there are a lot of things. The good news I'd like to say is that there have been a number of us in the inventor community down in Washington, D.C. over the last couple of years, literally going office to office on Capitol Hill with both the House and the Senate to try to explain to senators, congressmen, and their staffs why it's so important to keep the patent system intact.
Is it working?
It is. It's tremendous. 2 years ago in 2014, bills came through the House of Representatives, and they came through quickly and were passed, and we had to go to the Senate side to get it stopped. We effectively did that, and then there was a new election, and a new group came in 2015. This time it went through the Senate, but we were able to go to the House and get it stopped. And there were a lot of great people, too many to be named here, but it was a coordinated effort. And let me just add this, that it wasn't just inventors, it was also other people that believed in the patent system, like traditional larger companies like General Electric.
Like 3M?
3M, exactly. People who have large patent portfolios who've developed their country. It's amazing how many companies in this country have grown from a single patent, and they appreciated that. All the universities in this country were all on our side too, or I should say we're all on the same side. They believe in innovation. They believe in, a lot of times they license it to other people. So that licensing process,
funding many universities.
It drives funding, it drives risk-taking and chance. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of things don't work. Innovation is an arena of a lot of no's and disappointment and failures. One will make it maybe out of 10, out of 50, out of 100. So you need to keep the money flowing. You need to keep, you can't just be a little bit of risk and everybody runs for cover. It's what makes America different than other countries. We keep investing because people are looking for economic freedom, and so this is something that's important for us. We've got to keep it going. So this coalition of inventors, universities, and traditional companies has been effective in holding off the new larger tech companies and banks. That's pretty much where the battle lines have drawn on this. And as an individual inventor, the UIA, the United Inventors Association, has really been at the forefront from day one on all of these, challenges and battles in Washington, D.C. We're not big, we're not powerful necessarily, but we've been helpful and effective in getting the message out, in being the torchbearers, if you say. We've worked with other inventor organizations like US Inventor, like Save the Inventor. There are other organizations also that are out there doing the same thing. We've worked with really spirited congressmen and senators who are on our side in this battle that recognize it. And we have gotten the reform shut down twice. And I would like to think that we can relax a little bit and think that things are secure, but you never know. Some of these larger companies have unlimited budgets, and it wouldn't surprise me if it got on the docket again next year. So we have to be, in Thomas Jefferson's words, vigilant if we want to continue to stick up for our rights and protect innovation in this country.
Can you tell us the different types of patents that exist and how these reforms have affected them?
Sure. So you have a larger umbrella called intellectual property, IP. So just to take a little bit of the mystery out of that, that includes patents, copyrights, trademarks, and trade secrets. And I just came up from Washington, D.C. I spent a lot of time at the U.S. Patent Office, and the building is divided in two: patents on one side and trademarks and copyrights on the other. But if we want to get specifically into patents, which is what affects most inventors, because let's face it, if your product hasn't been on the market, a trademark isn't really particularly valuable to you. But patents are divided into two worlds, and those being utility patents and design patents. And it's a little bit like it sounds. Utility or functional patents with specific claims, functional parts and things that you can describe. it could be a spring-loaded version of something. It could be a router. It could be something specific that's used in a unique and different way that's claimable. And you need a good patent attorney to describe that, because it's very difficult to file a full patent without some legal help. Design patents are a little simpler. They're usually design, as they're said. It could be a particular shape, like the Coke bottle. It could be a particular look and whatnot. But you can define that, and if it hasn't been experienced before in the marketplace, claim it as your own. Some people file both. They'll file design and utility patents. But usually when it comes to licensing to larger entities, it's the utility patent that carries a little bit more value, and it's easier to defend. Design patents get a little bit nebulous sometimes.
I think they're more to protect. Design patents fall more in line with protecting yourself in retail.
Yep.
For instance, Barbie Pink.
Yeah.
To allow their brand to have a statement that their competitors can't have.
No question about it. And I think particularly you bring up a great example in the toy industry, and that's a powerful industry for innovation and for licensing. But if you switched over, say, into the automotive parts area, maybe that's not quite as important. So it's really industry specific, and it really needs to be thought out and collaborated on with a professional attorney, patent attorney particularly, for a strategy. It's not a simple thing. It's not easy to get a patent, and that's why there's a barrier to entry to it. You can't just show up and throw an idea out there and it's going to work. I mean, there's been 9 million patents issued in this country already, so due diligence has to be done. It's not easy. This is what we're saying is it's not easy to get to that threshold.
So in lieu of everything that's going on with patent reforms, what is the United States Patent and Trademark Office doing to help individuals?
Well, there's a lot going on. On a very positive side, they have a wonderful division within the patent office dedicated to small inventors and micro entities.
This is a new thing?
It's not a new thing, but they've been developing it, and there's been a bigger and bigger outreach on it. They have new people that have moved in. They've really dedicated resources to it. They do a number of things. The first thing is they have hotlines for people to call in and answer questions. They do have an ombudsman program, so if you feel you haven't been treated fairly, you have a voice there. They do a lot of innovator conferences and innovation and inventor conferences, which, by the way, the UIA tries to support those and guide people to those. They have them in Washington, D.C. I've spoken in a number of them, but they also have them around the country. So there are some dedicated people there that believe that the independent inventor is an important part of the process, and not to leave them out. They're really the backbone of the country. So that's all a really positive set. There is one rather negative side, and I have certainly spoken out on this a lot, so it's nothing new. With the 2013 patent reform effort, most of it was pretty good, but one of the things that came out, and unintendedly, was what they call post-review board that they have at the patent office. So now, if two parties are in a fight, one feels another is infringing on them, rather than go to court and spend a lot of money, they can actually take it back and challenge an issued patent back in the patent office. Okay, sounds like a great idea, because maybe 10% or 15% of patents slip through and shouldn't have, and without spending a lot of money, that can be reviewed. The bad news is that in the 2 or 3 years since this process has been going, some 87% of all patents under review coming back to the Patent Review Board have been getting nullified, which is unbelievable. These are patents that were issued. So this would be sort of like, playing the football game and then afterwards challenging the score and having it nullified. Nobody, minds if some mistakes were made. No one's perfect. No system is perfect. If there was a small percentage. But almost every one is getting nullified now, and that's a very, very scary thing. So people are starting to look into it. The Supreme Court just heard a case on it, whether the Patent Review Board is fair or constitutional. There's a lot of things swirling around right now. We don't know where to land, but I can pretty much assure you that that will be the next focus for us as inventors, and to try to get back there and make it reasonable and fair.
Please visit us online at www.uiausa.org or visit us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/UIAUSA.